Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Like there's this invisible force pulling your strings, making decisions for you, and you're just watching it all happen? What if I told you that feeling isn't paranoia, it's awakening? Right now, as you listen to these words, something extraordinary is happening. Your soul is recognizing a frequency it's been searching for. Because deep down, you know there's more to this reality than what your eyes can see. And that knowing, that restless hunger for truth, it brought you here. There's an ancient secret that's been whispered through centuries, passed down like a sacred flame from one awakened soul to another. It's hidden in a book so powerful that most people can't even handle reading it. The KYBALION. But here's the thing, this isn't just any book. It's a spiritual weapon. Imagine if you discovered that everything you've been taught about life is backwards, that your thoughts aren't just random electrical impulses in your brain, but actual forces that shape your reality. Would that terrify you, or would it set you free? The ancient Egyptians knew something we've forgotten. They understood that consciousness isn't produced by matter. Matter is produced by consciousness. Every pyramid, every hieroglyph, every sacred ritual was pointing to one mind-bending truth. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of it. But why was this knowledge hidden? Why wasn't it taught in temples for everyone to hear? Because power like this in the wrong hands becomes destruction. Picture giving a loaded gun to someone who thinks it's a toy. The ancient masters understood that spiritual laws are like nuclear energy, incredible when used wisely, catastrophic when misunderstood. They created tests, challenges, hidden meanings wrapped in symbols and stories. Only those who had purified their hearts, those who sought truth more than comfort, could decode the real message. Here's what they discovered that will shake you to your core. Your external world is nothing but a mirror reflecting your internal state. Every relationship, every struggle, every moment of joy or pain, it's all your consciousness speaking back to you. Feel that chill running down your spine. That's recognition, your soul remembering what it once knew. The KYBALION reveals 7 universal laws that govern everything, not human laws that can be broken, but cosmic principles as unchangeable as gravity. And when you understand them, really understand them, you realize you've been playing life on expert mode without knowing the controls. But here's the beautiful, terrifying truth. You can't unknow what you're about to learn. Once you see how reality actually works, there's no going back to sleep, no more blaming others, no more feeling powerless. Because you'll finally understand that you've been holding the keys to your kingdom all along. The question isn't whether you're ready for this knowledge. The question is, are you brave enough to take responsibility for the incredible power you've always possessed? Hermes Trismegistus and the origins of Hermeticism. What if everything you think is solid, real, and permanent is actually just thoughts? Not your thoughts, but the thoughts of something so vast, so infinite, that your entire existence is just one tiny dream within its infinite mind? Stop for a moment. Feel that shift happening inside you right now. That's your soul recognizing a truth it's been waiting lifetimes to remember. In 1908, something extraordinary happened. 3 mysterious figures calling themselves the 3 Initiates published a small book that would shatter everything humanity thought it knew about reality. They weren't random writers. They were living bridges carrying the fire of ancient wisdom into a world that had forgotten how to see. But here's what will blow your mind. They didn't create this knowledge. It had been flowing like an underground river for thousands of years, whispered from master to student in hidden chambers, encoded in symbols that only awakened hearts could read. The KYBALION wasn't just published, it was birthed. Like a seed that only sprouts when the soil is ready, this book only appears in your life when your consciousness is hungry enough to digest its power. And right now, as these words flow through you, something inside is stirring. Can you feel it? That electric recognition. That's your spirit remembering what it once knew. Here's the secret that changes everything. The universe isn't made of stars and planets and empty space. It's made of pure mind. One cosmic consciousness dreaming reality into existence. And you? You're not separate from that mind. You are that mind, experiencing itself through your eyes. Think about your dreams last night. In that dream, you were running, talking, feeling everything so intensely. But when you woke up, you realized it was all created by your own consciousness. The people, the places, even the emotions, all projections of your mind. Now here's where it gets wild. What if this reality you're experiencing right now is exactly the same thing? What if you're inside the dream of an infinite intelligence, and everything you see, touch, and feel is just consciousness playing with itself? The ancient masters called this the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental, not complicated philosophy, raw, earth-shaking truth. But why does this matter to you right here, right now? Because if reality is mental, then your thoughts aren't just chemicals bouncing around in your skull. They're creative forces, sculpting your world every single second. Every belief you hold, every emotion you feel, every vision you imagine, it's all programming the universal mind to deliver your experience. You've been told you're powerless, that life happens to you. But what if life happens through you? What if you're not the victim of circumstances, but the unconscious creator of them? Even quantum physics is catching up to what these ancient seekers knew thousands of years ago. Consciousness shapes reality. Observation changes outcomes. Mind creates matter. Feel that tingling in your chest? That's awakening. Your soul is remembering its true power. The power to dream new dreams, to think new worlds into existence. Mastery in the modern world. You know that feeling when you're driving and suddenly realize you've been on autopilot for the last 10 minutes? You don't remember the turns, the stops, the people you passed. Your body was there, but your mind was somewhere else entirely. That's exactly how most people live their entire lives. And I'm not trying to be dramatic here. I'm talking about something that's happening to you right now as you listen to this. There's a part of your mind that's been running the show without you even knowing it, making decisions, creating experiences, attracting people and situations based on programs you didn't even install. Think about your last relationship, or your current job, or how much money is sitting in your bank account right now. You probably think these things just happened to you, right? Like life is this random slot machine, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But what if I told you there's nothing random about any of it? Every single thing in your life right now, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the stuff that makes you crazy, It all started as energy in your mind, not the conscious part of your mind that's listening to me right now. I'm talking about the deeper part, the part that's been whispering the same stories since you were 5 years old. Money doesn't grow on trees. Good things don't last. People like us don't get lucky breaks. Heard any of those before? Of course you have. And every time that voice whispers, you're not just hearing words, you're sending out a signal, like a radio tower, broadcasting your deepest beliefs out into the world. And here's the wild part: the world has been listening and responding every single day. Ever notice how, when you wake up in a good mood, somehow the coffee tastes better, the traffic seems lighter, even strangers are nicer to you? Then there are those other days. You know the ones. You wake up feeling heavy, and suddenly everything goes wrong. Your phone dies, you spill something on your shirt, that person cuts you off in traffic. You think that's coincidence? Your grandmother probably called it getting up on the wrong side of the bed. But the ancient masters who wrote the KYBALION knew something your grandmother didn't. They knew you're not just experiencing life, you're creating it. With every thought, every feeling, every belief that runs through your system. But here's what nobody tells you about this whole "you create your reality" thing. It's not about sitting in a corner thinking happy thoughts and expecting miracles. That's kindergarten spirituality. Real creation happens when you wake up to the fact that you've been creating unconsciously your whole life. And if you can create unconsciously, imagine what happens when you start doing it on purpose. The problem is most people are terrified of this responsibility. Because if you created your current reality, that means you also created your problems, your struggles, your heartbreaks. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But here's what makes it beautiful instead of terrifying. If you created it once, you can create it again. Differently this time. The universe doesn't care about your past. It doesn't hold grudges. It's not keeping score. It just responds to whatever signal you're broadcasting right now, in this moment, and the next moment, and the one after that. The principle of mentalism. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract drama wherever they go? Like, it doesn't matter where they work, who they date, or what city they move to. The same chaos follows them around like a lost puppy. Then there are those other people who just seem to glide through life. Good things happen to them. Doors open. People help them. Even when bad stuff happens, they bounce back faster than seems humanly possible. What's the difference between these two types of people? Luck? Genetics? Rich parents? None of the above. The difference is what's happening inside their heads every single day. Here's what nobody wants to hear. Your life is a perfect mirror of what's going on inside your head. Not what you say, not what you post on social media, what you actually think about when nobody's watching. That coworker who drives you crazy? You've been thinking about them for weeks, haven't you? Replaying conversations, imagining arguments, getting worked up about stuff they might do. And then boom, there they are again, doing exactly the thing that triggers you most. That's not bad luck. That's the universe being an incredibly efficient delivery service. Every thought you think is like sending out a signal. And somewhere out there, matching experiences are getting the message and heading your way. The angry thoughts attract angry people. The worried thoughts attract things to worry about. The "I'm not good enough" thoughts attract situations that make you feel small. You think you're just thinking, but you're actually ordering from the cosmic menu. And here's the kicker. The universe doesn't care if you believe this or not, just like gravity doesn't care if you believe in it. You can deny it all you want, but try stepping off a building and see what happens. These laws are working whether you know about them or not, whether you like it or not, whether you understand them or not. But here's where it gets really wild. If you've been unconsciously creating all the stuff you don't want, what happens when you start doing it on purpose? What if instead of replaying that argument with your ex for the 100th time, you started imagining yourself feeling free and happy? What if instead of obsessing over your bank account, you started thinking about abundance flowing into your life? I know, it sounds too simple, too good to be true, but think about this. You've been proving this works your whole life, just in the wrong direction. Remember that time you were absolutely certain something bad was going to happen? And then it did? You probably called it intuition. But what if you actually created it by thinking about it so intensely? Or that time you were so excited about something, so sure it would work out perfectly, and it did. You called that luck. But what if it was the same force, just working in your favor this time? The universe is like a giant copying machine. It doesn't judge what you put into it. It just makes more of whatever you feed it. More drama, more peace, more struggle, more flow. It's all the same to the universe. The invisible architects. Ever feel like you're taking one step forward and two steps back? Like just when you think you've got your life figured out, everything falls apart again? You're not broken. You're not failing. You're actually experiencing one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and most people have no idea it even exists. Last month you were on fire, confident, clear, making things happen. You felt like you could conquer the world. Then this month hits, and suddenly you can barely get out of bed. The same old fears are back. That voice in your head is louder than ever, telling you you're not good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. Sound familiar? Here's what's really happening. Life isn't a straight line going up. It's more like breathing. In and out, expand and contract, rise and fall. And just like you can't inhale forever without exhaling, you can't stay in growth mode forever without taking a step back. The ancient masters called this the law of rhythm. Everything in existence moves like a pendulum, swinging from one side to the other. Your emotions, your energy, your progress, it all follows this natural flow. Look around you. The sun rises and sets every single day. Seasons change. Your heart beats and pauses. The ocean comes in with the tide and goes back out. Nothing in nature stays the same forever. So why do we expect our lives to be different? We've been brainwashed into thinking that real success means constant growth, endless positivity, always moving up. But that's not how the universe works. That's not how anything works. Think about the last time you felt like you were going backwards. Maybe you thought you'd healed from that breakup, but then you saw their photo and felt that familiar ache in your chest. Or you thought you'd overcome your money fears, but then you got triggered when the bills came in. Your first thought was probably, why am I back here again? I thought I was over this. But here's what you didn't realize. You weren't going backwards at all. You were spiraling upward. Like climbing a spiral staircase, you passed the same spot, but you were actually at a higher level. That old pain came back so you could heal it more deeply with the wisdom you've gained. That's why people often hit rock bottom right before their biggest breakthrough. That's why you sometimes sabotage yourself just when things are going well. It's not because you're crazy or self-destructive. It's because the rhythm of life is asking you to go deeper. The universe is testing whether you've really learned the lesson or if you just put a band-aid over the wound. Most people fight this rhythm. They think feeling low means they're doing something wrong, so they force themselves to be positive, push through the exhaustion, pretend everything's fine. And that just makes the swing back even harder. But what if you stopped fighting it? What if you realized that the low points aren't failures? They're preparation for the next level. The strongest trees have the deepest roots, and roots grow down in the dark, where nobody can see them. But without those deep roots, the tree would fall over the first time a storm hit. Your soul works the same way. Sometimes you need to go down to grow up. Polarity and alchemical transmutation. Have you ever noticed how your worst moments somehow lead to your greatest breakthroughs? That's not coincidence. That's the universe showing you one of its most powerful secrets. Picture this. You're going through hell. Everything's falling apart. Your heart's breaking, your dreams are crashing, and you feel like you're drowning in darkness. But here's what most people miss. That darkness isn't your enemy. It's your teacher, dressed up as destruction. Think about a seed buried deep in the earth. It's surrounded by complete darkness, crushed by the weight of soil above it. But does it give up? Number. It uses that pressure, that darkness to grow stronger. And when it finally breaks through the surface, it's not the same fragile seed anymore. It's become something magnificent. You are that seed. Every time life pushes you down, every time you feel like you can't take another step, you're not being punished. You're being prepared. The universe is asking you, how badly do you want to grow? How ready are you to become who you're meant to be? But here's where it gets really interesting. What if I told you that your anger and your love are actually the same energy? That your fear and your courage come from the exact same source? Sounds crazy, right? Listen to this. When you turn a dimmer switch, you're not creating new light or destroying darkness. You're simply adjusting the intensity of what's already there. Your emotions work exactly the same way. That rage burning in your chest, it's just passion turned down low. That crippling fear, it's excitement without direction. The ancient masters knew this secret. They understood that you don't fight fire with water. You transform fire into light. You don't eliminate your shadow. You dance with it until it becomes your strength. Right now, as you're listening to this, every single atom in your body is vibrating. Your thoughts are vibrating. Your emotions are vibrating. Even your dreams are creating ripples in the universe. And here's the mind-blowing part. You get to choose the frequency. When you're stuck in worry, guilt, or resentment, you're like a radio tuned to static. Everything feels chaotic, confusing, impossible. But the moment you shift your vibration through gratitude, through love, through simply choosing a better thought, it's like suddenly finding a clear station. The same universe that felt hostile starts revealing its hidden gifts. Have you ever met someone who just lights up a room? They're not necessarily the richest or the most beautiful people, but something about them draws you in. That's high vibration in action. They've learned to tune their inner radio to frequencies of joy, peace, and possibility. Your current reality is broadcasting live from your inner frequency. If you want different results, you don't need to change the world. You need to change your channel. mastering life's cycles. You know that feeling when you finally let go of something that's been eating you alive? That exact moment when your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, and suddenly the world feels lighter? That's not just relief. That's you literally changing your frequency. You're becoming the alchemist of your own soul. But wait, do you really think you're supposed to have it all figured out by now? Do you honestly believe there's some cosmic checklist you're failing to complete? Because if you do, I need you to hear this. You've been lied to. The biggest spiritual trap of our generation is this obsession with finding your one true purpose. It's like being told there's only one perfect song in the entire universe, and you're broken if you haven't found it yet. But here's the truth that'll set you free. Life isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a dance you learn as you move. Think about the 5-year-old you. Remember what made your heart race with excitement back then? Maybe it was dinosaurs, or becoming a superhero, or building the tallest tower with blocks. Were those dreams wrong because they changed? Of course not. They were perfect for who you were in that moment. They lit up your world and made you reach for something bigger. Now look at yourself today. You've chased different dreams, fallen in love with different ideas, been pulled toward different mountains to climb. And every single time you thought, this is it. This is what I'm meant to do. And maybe it was for that season of your life. Here's what nobody tells you. Those weren't detours. Those weren't mistakes. Those were breadcrumbs leading you exactly where you needed to go. Each dream was like a key that unlocked a new room in the mansion of your soul. When you wanted to be a musician, you weren't just learning chords. You were learning discipline, creativity, and how to touch people's hearts. When you dreamed of traveling the world, you weren't just collecting passport stamps. You were expanding your perspective and dissolving the walls of your comfort zone. When you fell in love and got your heart broken, you weren't just experiencing pain. You were learning the depth of your own capacity to feel. Every desire that's ever moved you was a teacher in disguise. Every goal that pulled you forward was spirit calling you to grow, even the ones that didn't work out the way you planned. So why do you judge yourself so harshly for changing? Why do you think evolution is failure? A tree doesn't apologize for growing new branches. A river doesn't feel guilty for changing course. They follow the natural rhythm of life: expansion, contraction, transformation, and expansion again. You are that tree, you are that river. And your purpose isn't some fixed point on a map. It's the courage to keep flowing, keep growing, keep becoming. The question isn't, what am I supposed to do with my life? The question is, what is life trying to do through me right now? Trust the rhythm. Trust the flow. Trust that every step, even the ones that seem to lead nowhere, are taking you exactly where your soul needs to go. You are the creator. Stop for a second and look around you. Everything you see, your phone, your coffee cup, the chair you're sitting on, started as somebody's thought. Someone imagined it before it existed. Someone dreamed it into reality. Now here's the question that'll change everything. If thoughts can become things, what are you creating with yours? You think you're just living your life, but you're actually writing it. Every single day, with every thought you choose to feed, every belief you decide to hold on to, you're literally programming your reality. And the scariest part? Most people are running on autopilot, creating by accident instead of design. Let me tell you something that might shake you up. That person who keeps betraying you? That boss who never appreciates you? That friend who always takes but never gives? They're not your problem. They're your mirror. They're showing you something about yourself that you haven't wanted to see. I know that stings. I know you want to argue with me right now. But what if I'm right? What if the person who doesn't respect your boundaries is reflecting the fact that you don't respect them either? What if the people who abandon you are showing you how you abandon yourself? This isn't about blame. This is about power. Because the moment you realize that your outer world is reflecting your inner world, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not a victim anymore. You're the artist painting your own reality. Think about the last time someone really hurt you. Now ask yourself, where in your life are you hurting yourself the same way? Where are you being cruel to yourself? Where are you neglecting your own needs? The answer might surprise you. But here's where it gets beautiful. If you can create pain unconsciously, imagine what you can create when you wake up. When you start treating yourself with the love you've been begging others to give you. When you start respecting yourself the way you've been demanding others respect you. Your thoughts aren't just thoughts, they're blueprints. Your emotions aren't just feelings, they're frequencies broadcasting to the universe exactly what to send you more of. When you're stuck in anger, you're literally ordering more things to be angry about. When you're swimming in gratitude, you're placing an order for more reasons to be grateful. The universe doesn't judge your orders. It doesn't ask if you deserve what you're requesting. It just delivers exactly what you're vibrating. So what frequency are you broadcasting right now? What are you unconsciously ordering for tomorrow? Here's what most people miss. Everything in your life is connected. Your thoughts create your emotions. Your emotions create your actions. Your actions create your results. And your results reinforce your thoughts. It's all one giant loop, spinning either toward your dreams or your nightmares. Inner union of energies. Do you know why you feel so exhausted all the time? Why you're constantly pushing but nothing seems to stick? It's because you're living like a broken person. Half of you is missing and you don't even realize it. Inside you right now, there's a war happening. Your inner warrior wants to charge ahead, make things happen, conquer the world. But your inner sage is whispering, wait, listen, feel first. And instead of letting them dance together, you've been forcing one to kill the other. Watch how this plays out in your life. You get a brilliant idea. That's your feminine intuition speaking. But instead of sitting with it, letting it marinate, allowing it to grow, you immediately jump into action mode. You start making lists, setting deadlines, forcing it into existence. And then you wonder why it feels so hard, why you're burning out, why nothing flows. Or maybe you're the opposite. You feel everything so deeply, you receive so much inspiration, but you never act on it. You're pregnant with dreams that never get born because you're terrified of the masculine energy that would bring them to life. Here's the truth that'll set you free. You are both. You're the dreamer and the doer, the receiver and the giver, the question and the answer. But somewhere along the way, you decided you had to choose sides. The moment you stop this internal war and start honoring both sides of yourself, magic happens. Your ideas come with perfect timing. Your actions feel effortless. Your life becomes a beautiful collaboration between your soul's wisdom and your spirit's power. What would change if you stopped fighting yourself and started loving all of who you are? The mechanics of reality. Have you ever met someone who seems untouchable by chaos? While everyone else is drowning in drama, they're floating peacefully above it all. You wonder what they know that you don't. Here's their secret: they stopped fighting the river. You've been exhausting yourself trying to control every wave, haven't you? Pushing against doors that won't open, forcing conversations that aren't ready to happen, wrestling with timing that refuses to bend to your will. And you're tired, so damn tired of swimming upstream. But what if I told you there's another way? What if the universe isn't your enemy, but your dance partner, waiting for you to learn the steps? Think about the last time everything went wrong. Your plans crumbled, your heart broke, your world turned upside down. But then, months later, you looked back and realized it was exactly what needed to happen. That breakdown led to your breakthrough. That ending created space for something better to begin. That wasn't coincidence. That was the universe course correcting your life, because you were heading towards something that wasn't meant for you. The awakened ones understand this. When life throws them curveballs, they don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What are you trying to teach me?" When doors slam shut, they don't bang their fists bloody. They turn around and look for the window that just opened. They've learned the ultimate truth. You can't control the current, but you can master the dance. And once you stop fighting what is and start flowing with what's becoming, life becomes your greatest ally instead of your biggest obstacle. Using Hermetic laws daily. Right now, what's the voice in your head saying? Is it cheering you on or tearing you down? Because that voice, that constant inner narrator, is literally writing the script of your life. And most people have no idea they're walking around with a critic as their screenwriter. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Your morning thoughts are more powerful than your morning coffee. That first mental conversation you have with yourself sets the frequency for your entire day. So when you wake up tomorrow, what story are you going to tell yourself? Another day, another struggle, or let's see what magic unfolds today? The universe is a giant mirror and it's reflecting back exactly what you're broadcasting. Feeling broke? Check your thoughts about money. Feeling lonely? Listen to how you talk to yourself. Feeling stuck? Notice how often you tell yourself, "I can't." But here's where it gets beautiful. You can change the channel anytime you want. Feeling heavy? Step outside and breathe with the trees. Feeling scattered? Put your bare feet on the earth and remember you belong here. Feeling small? Look up at the stars and remember you're made of the same stuff. Your phone has airplane mode to disconnect from chaos. Your soul has gratitude mode. When was the last time you switched it on? When did you last smile at a stranger, really taste your food, or dance like nobody's watching? These aren't just feel-good moments. They're frequency shifters. They're reality changers. They're you remembering that you're not a victim of life. You're the artist painting it. Becoming one with the all. So here you are, standing at the edge of everything you thought you knew about life. And something inside you has shifted, hasn't it? You can't go back to pretending you're powerless. You can't unsee what you've seen. You know that feeling when you suddenly understand a joke that everyone's been laughing at. That's what's happening to your entire existence right now. The universe has been speaking to you your whole life, and you're finally starting to understand the language. But here's what nobody prepared you for. Awakening isn't comfortable. It's not some blissful escape from reality. It's the exact opposite. It's waking up to realize you've been sleepwalking through your own life. And now you have a choice. You can go back to sleep, pretend this never happened, return to blaming everyone else for your problems, keep waiting for someone to save you. That's the easy path, and nobody would judge you for taking it. Or you can stay awake. Accept that you're the author of your story. Own the fact that every single thing in your life is there because some part of you called it in. That's the hard path, but it's the only one that leads to freedom. The universe doesn't care which path you choose, but your soul does. It's been waiting your whole life for this moment, for you to remember who you really are. Not just a human having spiritual experiences, but spirit having a human experience. What are you going to choose?